for me to be able to position myself into taking certain opportunities that's available. Or I'm not going to wait for people to come in here. I'm going to try to create something that's going to bring people in here. You know what I mean? I'm not going to wait to build my clientele. I'm going to create the atmosphere and the environment that builds clientele. I got to move. I got to act. I got to, you know what I mean? So, and then I'll wait on God to water the seeds that I'm planting. You know what I mean? But other than that, you know, I ain't really waiting on nobody.
Right. So, and I think that's where I'm at. Like, you know, I mean, when it comes to like the clientele, you know, doing that, it's just, you know, I'm not even worried about that. But I know it's something that's much bigger that's coming down the pipe. And I can feel it, but I just don't know what it is, you know. So if I start making moves based on how I feel, then that's just gonna mess everything up. And I don't need my trajectory to be messed up right about now, you know. So I think that's where I'm at, you know, like I'm not, you know, I'm still, while you waiting, you still got to work, you know, so I'm still, you know, coming up with, you know, well, I'm not coming up, but I'm allowing God to deposit, you know, different strategies, you know, so that I can, you know, start putting things in motion. And at the same time, while these strategies are coming, you know, it's just like he's positioning me for whatever's coming down that pipe, you know. So that's where I'm at right now.
Right. One of the things I was going to ask you, Mel, is what are some of the strategies you use to build your clientele? And the reason why I'm asking is, I can honestly say that I have about 300 customers. I may not even be cutting, and I'm not cutting. But I got over 300 phone numbers of people who I've had, hey, can you sign the customer sign-in sheet? You know what I mean? That I said, if I ever really, really wanted to get back in my barber bag, that I got all these phone numbers to call, that people that I have cut their hair already and laced them. You know what I mean? Or even might even it wasn't even that good. But the point is that I acquired that clientele information. So and Mill, I kind of got that from you.
Right.
You know, we used to I used to argue with you about every little thing. Every little thing. So can you just give me a little insight or share with the class, how do you build your clientele?
I'm business minded. You know what I mean? I kind of like study marketing and advertising. I study big companies who are, you know, and how they advertise, how they get me myself to go to that store to buy a boot or buy a pair of sneakers. So I study advertising and marketing, and from that, I came up with certain strategies like this thing here. This is a business card. And on the back of my business card, this is the front of it, but on the back of my business card, there is called an appreciation discount card. So every time a customer come, I give this to the new customers, every time a new customer come in, you get this. This is going to make them say, okay, I want to work myself up to getting this $10 cut.
Yeah.
I want to work myself up to getting this free haircut. So if after 5 haircuts you get a free one, guess what? They're gonna keep this in their wallet and they're gonna come and sit and wait for hours just so you can punch this card. But after 5 haircuts, I done built a relationship with you, and now it's kind of like your stuff. You know what I mean? To where as though I know your hair, you're comfortable with me. You know what I mean? Like I said, I built a relationship that's gonna prolong our business relationship. You know what I mean? You're gonna keep coming back after you get your 5
so that's like a loyalty card.
So it's like a loyalty card, but I call it an appreciation card because I want you to know that I appreciate you coming in here. You know what I mean? To support me. So you know, you can be loyal to whoever you want to be loyal to. You know what I mean? But the loyalty is going to come from my appreciation for you. You know what I mean? So that's just one of the things that I've done. And I've had people sitting here and I never could understand, like, sometimes all you getting is a bald head. Why are you waiting for me? But after I do the baldy, they'll pull out the card, and I'll be like, okay, that's why. That's why you sat here for an hour to get a bald head.
Yeah, they definitely work.
Yeah, so that was just one. You know what I mean?
And can I say one thing, Mr. Reagan?
Sure.
And see, he's doing the appreciation card, which I think last week I tried to introduce this to the students, where I said, yo, we're going to do loyalty flyers. And I remember when you first started this, John Mill, and we was doing 5 haircuts, you got the 6th one free.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I fought you on that one. You know what I mean? Fought you on that one. And then after we did it, it was like you had clientele that was just locked in.
Yeah.
That was locked in. So that's just one of the ways, y'all. And I appreciate you sharing some of your successful strategies. You know what I mean?
Like just to jump in, I just overhearing it, like that strategy was all that. Like I remember that time, like I think Jamil actually had a sign on the front window that said like new customers free. And like you started off, you came in and you got your first cut free. And then it was like after every 5 cuts, you got a free one. And for me, who was like, you know, at that point, just wanting a nice sharp line with some brothers, it was and getting a chance to remember it was Ron and Jamil was a great deal. And it actually changed me and a whole lot of other people that just started being where we went. And you know, I just think that the rest is from there. I think that was a great strategy. I think it brought a lot of people in, and then I think y'all had another thing you did when people brought their sons in. You gave like fathers an extra discount with their sons. Like y'all just did stuff that made it cool for a working black man and gave us a deal. Like even when people were short, I guess all right, you know, we'll figure it out next week. Like you know, like it's that family that family atmosphere you set off that was real. You know.
Yeah.
Well, for those that have been in the school. And you see all those signs that I got in my classroom or them banners that was in the wall, those are from back then when we was doing 50% off first-time customer. I mean, when Mel came up with 50% off first-time customer, you talking about fight? I said, shit, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? And it worked once again. And it worked so well that when I took it down Ogons Avenue, it just blew everything out the water. You know what I mean? It blew everything out the water. So Mel, definitely want to just thank you for sharing. And if I've never said, well, you always call me and say, you got me again. You got me again, Ryan. You took my stuff again. But for real, bro, you set a trend. And you definitely somebody that's important in this barber industry uptown. Now,
he might owe you some points on that package, Mel. He might owe you some points on that package. That's all.
Yeah, it's I put it on the tag. I put it on the tag.
My man, Day, Twin, can you share with us some of the ways you built your clientele? Because I know you got a vicious clientele. Mr. Day.
Yo.
Can you share with the class some of the ways to build a good clientele?
And I started off by just going out for real. Going out with certain people that once they sat down and seen what it was, they was like, dang. They introduced me to the next person. You know what I mean? And I created it was like a friendship. It was like you might I hang with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Once I started hanging around, you know what I mean? It's just like the chemistry between me and the other people was like we was like real live friends then. Like it was like, damn. You know what I mean? I did the cards and stuff too. Yeah, just you know.
So if y'all here, and I appreciate you sharing that, Day, that it's about relationships.
That's it.
People build relationships. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if you know that you are a person of value, you know you're not a bad person, a rotten person, and you know that, like, you know, and when I say that, you have some people who just wake up and they have no intention on doing right. You know what I mean? That does not mean that they lesser than a human. It's just that's how life is. Some of us wake up and want to do right. Some of us wake up and say, yo, I'm doing wrong. But when you have certain values and qualities, certain people can see that without you even telling them. You know what I mean? And that's where I think some people choose their barber, because a barber, you go back to the movie, was the psychologist with the flyest dude in the world. My man Evo, how you feeling this morning?
Yeah, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, we were sharing, Jamel, and we had the twins on here, sharing how some ways to build a successful clientele. You know, Mill was sharing some of the things he's done, and then Day was just sharing. So can you share something just on how to build a clientele that you want?
Business card. Keep them with you all, anywhere you go. Y'all gotta have business cards. All, I was a success business cards. Always having business cards, giving them out, always being consistent. Trying not to be late. Honoring appointments. Little senior discounts on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Those are the things that I've done to build my clientele, especially that business card. That business card thing is very important.
Right.
It is.
Definitely the appreciation, Jones, too. So, like, I had cookouts and everything free. Come on through.
Right.
Cookout. Yup.
Right. I've never done that, but I was always heavy on business cards. Like somebody told me a long time, you used to have a business cards and they just sitting on your station. But I have a friend that's a contractor, and he would always sit in my chair and get his hair cut. But anybody that walked past, he'd say, excuse me, and you hand him a business card. I'm like, why you? Everybody that walked past, you give him a business card. He said, yeah, you got business cards sitting on your station. You can't make no money. That's money. So I figured it out a long time ago. The big business cards, I don't, listen, it matters how good you cut, but those business cards, that to me, that's number one. The building your clientele in this business. Well, any business, but especially this business, because this business is not easy. You got to put yourself out there. That's the way you put yourself out there with your business card. Now, the way Bill is doing it is that's fantastic. I'm impressed. I would have never thought about that. You know what I mean? But just by him sharing that, bam, I just learned something new.
No doubt. And I don't know if you came in go ahead. I'm sorry, Dad. You were saying?
I was about to say I had a little routine too, but mine was that one person, like if he bring three, his next cut is free. You know what I'm saying? So bring three, you free. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had a client referral where if you were where you refer one customer, you got 50% off. If you refer two customers, you got a free cut. So there's all kind of ways you can finesse it. You can do one of the things that I'm looking to do starting soon is free facial with a haircut. I plan on doing that at the school where anybody that come in and get a haircut, the facial is free. And the reason why I'm going to do that is the facial is one of the things that we have to do at the state board test. Even for your teacher test, the teacher test is whether you're going to either do a shave or a facial. So those are two things that I try to get everybody to practice on.
Let me just say, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Mel.
Yeah, another thing that I realized that has helped me build my clientele is like when you go support like a food truck or Chinese store, whatever, you know what I mean, go to somewhere to eat. The first thing you look at is how clean the store is. You know what I mean? Sometimes you walk into the store and walk right out because how clean it is. I mean, because how dirty it is, or they don't have gloves on. There's something unsanitary about that food cart that's going to say, you know what, I'm gonna go to the next one. Or you know what I mean? You might go give them a shot, but you might not come back because you realize how, unclean, unorganized, or unsanitary they were. And I've noticed that over the years that by me keeping my station clean, my clippers clean, when people are in here, they see me brushing my stuff off, they appreciate that. They appreciate, because people watch, people are looking. And some of the, and a lot of times I realize people, and they have shared that with me. That's why I could say that. They have shared like, yo, I appreciate you cleaning the clippers off, this, that, and the third. They like that, because don't think people don't come in here and look at what you're doing. And then, and based off of what you're doing is going to help them make the decision to sit in your chair or come back and sit in your chair again. So that's, I think, very important that, we keep in mind that people are watching. You know what I mean? And looking at your clippers, how you clean it, because you're putting that stuff on my head. You know what I mean? Your brushes, your combs, you got dirty brushes. Come on, man. You know what I mean? It's like, so that was like for me, and I've worked along people who didn't take the initiative to care about the customers enough to wash your combs and your brushes and this, that, and third, because you're just so quick trying to get to the next client to get that paper. You're not really taking that time to wash your utensils and keep your stuff, maintenance or whatever. But that goes a long way as well.
No, definitely, cuz. And I appreciate you sharing that, man. Having a clean station. Like, people definitely look when they come in, they like, yo, you know what I mean? So that's definitely a good way to build your customers, a relationship. Something that I had got from, I used to work for Dave Mayfield. So for those, you probably know me, Bo. And Dave was the son of Joe Gordon. And when I was working for Dave used to say, how you dress tells people who you are. So if you come to the barbershop and you dress like you coming from the gym, people gonna be less likely to be attracted to you. But if you come to work and you dress, with your clothes ironed, your clothes neat, your shoes, with a neat, clean appearance, that's something that speaks louder than anything. Another tactic was, Dave used to tell me, listen, every night I want you to take at least 10 business cards and stop at different food spots where people might be eating or drinking. Stop in, give out a couple cards. Yo, I'm doing my thing at such and such. Yo, I'm doing my thing at such and such. And just keep it moving. So we shared a lot of good advice on how to build clientele, appreciation card. You want to just have business cards, period. For those that have just started at the school, I just got business cards from Staples for all the students. So if you haven't got any, make sure when you come in, you see Mr. Vinny and get some at the front desk. Another thing we talked about is building your clientele. And I think Ebo said this, is you can't be late and you have to honor the appointments you make. One thing people can't stand is a late barber. Time is money. The flip side of that is sometimes the customer might be late. You know what I mean? And just before we go to break, how do you deal with a customer being late, Ebo? If you can tell us.
So if they have an appointment at 3:30 and they come in at 10:04, then I'm on to the next one.
Okay.
I have a slot open and they willing to take that slot. They can have that slot, but what I want, a lot of barbers do it until you say, I don't charge them for being late. That's just, I'll just
do you charge for appointments?
Huh?
Do you charge for appointments?
No, never did it. I just charge one flat fee.
And how much? Well, no, not how much. How long of a grace period do they have? You think is fair if they late?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, I give them 10 before I move on.
What about you, Bill?
I mean, if you ain't here at 4 o'clock, I'm on to the next one. I ain't get no phone call. I'm on to the next joint at 4 o'clock. If you got a 4 o'clock appointment, you ain't call me and say you're gonna be late. You come in here at 4:05, somebody already in the chair.
Oh yeah.
Right. Well, so there you have it. You know, good grace period is at least up to 15 minutes. I ain't gonna lie. I got some customers that I know if they say 3:30, they mean 4 o'clock. You know what I mean? I have, you know, so certain customers I know to kind of bend with. You know what I'm saying? Because their true intention might be to get to you on time, but that ain't always the case. You know what I mean? Another good thing somebody said is having cookouts. You know, that is one of the things that I did down Ogons with moms. You know what I mean? We'll pull the grill out, and that's always a good way to build clientele or just build a community relationship. Getting your little grill, like I think Mr. Wayne do it sometimes. Pull the grill out, put some hot dogs and hamburgers on there, and then guess what? Anybody that want to eat gets a hamburger or a hot dog. Anybody in the community, you know what I mean? That's a good way. Keeping your station clean, cleaning your clippers in front of the clients. Something that also Mr. Wayne was doing, you know, is he was showing the customers he wipes the chair down before they get in. So just showing the customers how clean you are, how clean you look, you know, that goes a long way to building clientele. All right. So
building your contacts and clientele. So that's a good thing, Ron. But keeping what I do as far as keeping my clientele, I don't know about y'all, but I usually put my client's name in my contacts, but I put shop behind it. And the reason why I do that is because I might have a client that I haven't seen in 15 years. And I just scroll through my contacts. So all I got to do is type in shop on my phone. When I type in shop, I'll get like 500 contacts of people that some of them, a third of them that I've never seen, I ain't seen in years. But when I shoot that mass text out about 20 or 30 people, I might get 5 come back. Like, damn, where you at? Where you at? So you always got to keep in contact with them, even if you're not cutting them. And somebody else keep in contact, you always just stay in the face all the time.
That's good
stuff.
No,
man, you're right. I've done the same thing. I put you know, RDB customer. And now every time I type in RDB on my phone, you know, like, you know, 100 names will come up. So that's definitely one way of keeping track with the technology we got, man. I want to say, man, I appreciate everybody sharing this morning. It was very, very, very powerful. Very, very, I say, take these jewels and put them in your jewelry box. We getting ready to go to break now. I'm going to turn the camera off and mute my phone, but I'm not logging off. I'm staying on. If you have the link and you want to log off, just hit that same link. You should be able to link right back on. And I will see you guys at, I believe, 10:45.
Hey, Jamil, hold on.
Comments.
1 second. Hey, Jamil, what's your hours, man? I want to come up there and check you out, man.
My hours, I'm here every day except Wednesday and Sunday from say like 8 to 6.
8 to 6. Yeah, when I get a break, I'm gonna check you out.
Okay. All right, brother. Look forward to it.
Pointers.
All right. All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'll see y'all in 15 minutes, 10:45.
All right.
You off, folks? Yeah, we on a 15-minute break. Okay. Yeah, so they give 3 breaks. Then later on, I go in. I got going there at 6:30. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's not bad. I like it too. Not bad. I said I get that teacher's license, bro. They just said you got a customer that want to learn how to cut. You just put them back there. Yeah. We get the grant from the state. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We break it down like $6,000 a piece, and the rest is going to them. Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's no brainer.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to wait to build my clientele.
If you're looking for insurance for your business, go spend 10 minutes. Go to nextinsurance.com and get a quote.
To blend in, right beneath the area that we hit with the half guard closed. Just going in and polishing real quick. Working in between these two positions here. So we begin this 30-minute fade technique by using the number 2 guard with the lever closed. This movement, up and down, flick out. Ask your client if he can tilt his head and maintain that position as you guys create your initial guideline. We begin by going just beneath the parietal ridge area, all around. Right in this area here, we begin to flick out. Now, to blend in this area, the number 2, with the bulk up here, we're going to use clipper over comb, exposing just a tad bit amount of length. That way we match the number 2 length and transition that over to the top of the head. Establish the guideline right above the bottom corner of the temple, right about here. As you guys reach the back occipital zone of the head, make sure you guys dip right below the occipital bone. Next step, create the preceding guideline with the lever open. Very consistent all the way through. This guideline will be about a finger's length. Now, we correspond to the ceiling. Hit the ceiling zone within that guideline. Using the entire blade here. Hitting the ceiling. Okay, now put the lever at midway closed and hit it midway within that guideline. Using the full blade first on the first pass. Notice how I'm hitting it midway and then flicking out with the entire blade. Now we can go back to the ceiling and blend in these little spots here. And as we close the lever all the way, we're going to hit the bottom part of this guideline. The floor, you can call it the floor, you can call it the bottom, you can call it the last line. Whatever you want to call it, that's a reference point that we're hitting right now. Next side, same thing. Midway. Now we can open it a tad bit and go a little bit farther up. Okay, now all the way closed, hitting the bottommost side or the bottommost zone of this guideline. The next step, we use the half guard. The lever open, same exact thing. Notice how I'm holding the skin down here. That way, whenever you guys do this, the skin isn't moving as much. Same thing, lever corresponding to the ceiling. Mainly using our corners or half of the blade instead of the full blade for this part. Always tell your client to tilt his head. Halfway now. Working that lever, back down, back to open. That way we blend in any little disturbances or dark spots. Now the lever fully closed to get rid of that last shade. You can remove the guard using the blade itself with the lever open and the corner. We're going to blend in right beneath the area that we hit with the half guard closed. Just going in and polishing real quick, working in between these two positions here, using the corner. Okay, repeat the same process here on the other side.
Okay. Getting back. Video on. Oh.
I'm basically setting the guideline low, and the reason why I'm setting it low is to give you room for more error. All right, it gives you room to create a thicker blend, and it gives you room to mess up if you have to. So what I'm doing right now is I'm setting my guideline low, and as I'm going to the back, notice that I'm going further down. I'm not like going upwards. I'm bringing the line down a little bit, and then I'm going back up once I go towards the temple area. You guys want to make sure that this first guideline is neat as possible. I usually use my Andy speed liners, but right now I'm really just trying to get the bulk out and trying to not rush, but get everything all in one whop. Next guideline is the lever open using my Oster speed lines. Now, these Oster speed lines are basically fast feeds. Don't get me wrong, alright? It's all the same thing. Right now I'm going up a full inch, and the reason why I'm going up a full inch is because the first guideline that we set it low, so we get to go up a full inch. That way it creates a bigger transition. Right now I'm just being real neat on how I set in this guideline. I'm working my way towards the back, and again, sometimes you have to go a little wider in the back because in the front area it's kind of a smaller area, and the back area is real spaced out and there's more room. So sometimes I go up a little bit more than a full inch in the back. So that's what I'm doing right now. As I work my way to the right side, I'm using my brush, knocking down the hairs. You guys always want to keep a brush in your left hand, or in the right hand if you're right-handed, or left hand if you're left-handed, whatever hand that you don't use to do the blend. All right, make sure you dust off the hairs as you go. Most important thing you want to do is keep going over the guideline. Make sure all the hairs are the same length and it's even. Next guideline is my one guard open using my Oster speed lines. Again, these are fast feeds, alright? They're all the same. It's the same thing. Fast feed, speed lines, all the same thing. Alright, right now I'm going up another inch with the second guideline, and I'm doing the same thing as I go to the back, getting a little wider, going up a little more than an inch, just because it's a lot of space back here that I got to work with. You guys want to work on your wrist motion, because it's all in the wrist when you're basically doing the fade. Work on your wrist motion. Whisk. The W's get me all the time, but the wrist motion, alright? Working my way to the right side. These W's is kind of getting on my nerves. Working my way to the right, I'm working my way to the right side.
We definitely stream more in the winter. We need to stream everywhere, every room in the house.
Get the fastest internet in America where you need it most with whole home Wi-Fi from Verizon Fios.
Snow days are our favorite. We all cuddle up on the couch and watch our favorite movies.
Get 12 months of Disney Plus and AMC Plus on us and $200 when you switch to Fios Gigabit Connection. Because everyone deserves better.
She uses the most internet.
And with internet plans starting at just $39.99 per month, better costs less than you think.
So we tell you, change.
If you don't want to learn how to buy houses legally with $10 and then flip them to profit $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more, then click skip on this ad. Oh, you're still there? Good, because I'm about to give you access to an underground video that shows you step by step how to use this real estate loophole to buy and sell houses without needing your cash, without needing credit, and without closing fees, taxes, or paying for costly renovations. It works for moms like Tamika, who made $15,000 on her first deal, 2 months or so for a $15,000 payday. I do that all the time. You know?
I'm telling you now, this is real. For whoever's out there doubting or have doubt, trust me, Ty knows what he's talking about.
Right, and basically just getting all the hairs and making it all even. All right, that's the main thing that you want to do is keep going over and over and over the hairs so that it all is the same length. Right now, my number 2 guard open, and I'm going with the grain. The WTG stands for with the grain, and basically I'm going with the grain of his pattern. He has waves, so you gotta kind of be careful around the crown area, because that's kind of, you know, a sensitive area. Because if you go the wrong way, you could kind of leave a real gouge in his head. The reason why I didn't start off doing the with the grain on top is because you're trying to cut down time also. Alright, if you do the whole head with the grain and take down the hair, that's like doing extra steps. So if you start off your guidelines and bald it out, that's less hair basically you have to cut off. Now the next guideline, I want to say it's not really a guideline, it's a 2 guard open. This is not really setting a guideline, but yet knocking down the bulk on top. Alright, there's a lot of like excess hair on the top that doesn't really need to be there, so I'm kind of just flicking it out and you know, trying to blend into the 2 guard that I have on top. Sometimes you guys gotta go against the grain going backwards, because the way the hair grows, sometimes the against the grain is going backwards and not up and down. As I work my way to the back, you guys notice that I'm going straight up and I'm not digging in. You know, when you do these fades and you do these blends, it's real important not to dig in, because that could create a guideline, and that's not what we're trying to do right now. We're just trying to knock off bulk. So basically, to do that, you need to go straight up. Alright, you guys, the next step is the 0 guard closed. And with this step right here, you guys are basically flicking out. Alright, it's not setting in a guideline, it's attacking the line, the middle line, and trying to get it as light as possible until it disappears. Alright, you guys got to work on your wrist motion. Alright, like this is it's kind of hard to explain, but at the same time, you guys can see what I'm doing and kind of mimic what I'm doing. It's basically all in the wrist. All right, it's like barely like tapping at it, like it's flicking at it and flicking away from it. Alright, when doing your flick out motions, you guys gotta kind of create your own technique at doing it. Mine is basically 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. I go in, I flick out, I flick out, I flick out. It's just like a rhythm that you guys get into when you're doing these blends. Next guideline is the lever close, and it's the same exact motion as the zero guard close. You're flicking out and you're starting from the bottom of the line and flicking to the line. Alright. You guys can't be afraid to open up the lever a little bit, and you know, because every hair texture is different. Like, you could do things on African Americans that you can't do on straight hair or coarse hair or, you know, thin hair. All hair is different, so you guys kind of gotta use these guidelines and kind of, you know, put your own tweak to it. You guys see me opening up the lever, closing the lever, because I see a lot of dark spots that I'm trying to get out, and I'm going up into the areas where, you know, I did the lever open. So I open up the lever and try to get those dark spots out by using my corners. As a beginner, you guys gotta trust your guidelines. You gotta when you put these guidelines in, don't second guess them. Don't put them in like, oh, I think I did something wrong. I think I put it in. Oh no, I'm not gonna commit to doing a full inch. No, you guys gotta. If you guys are gonna do these blends and you want them like how I'm doing them, you guys gotta commit to it. All right, don't do exactly what you see. Don't try to do like too little and be like, no, I'm gonna do this, because your guys' blend can be shortened if you do this. Like, I used to think that doing like short blends would look good, but after a while it's like, you know what, let me open up it and go a full inch. And that's what I started doing, and I noticed my transitions being a lot better once I did that. So you guys basically have to trust your blends. Even though it looks like you're taking too much off and it looks like it's not really gonna blend, just trust it. All right, it's gonna blend. Just commit to it. I want you guys to take a look at this spot right here in the middle. It's real bulky right here. It's a lot of hair that I could take down. It looks like a big line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my one guard open and knock the hairs down just a little bit to get it to blend a little bit better. It's nothing wrong if you didn't get it right the first time. As long as you go back and correct your mistakes, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, like I seen that, like I could have went higher with my one guard, so I said, you know what, let me go back in and slap on this one guard and blend it in a little bit more. You know, it's no failure that I didn't get it the first time. All right, just make sure that the client doesn't walk out of your chair with a half blend. You know what I mean? So Right now, I'm in the back, just working on the blend, and you guys can see that it's getting much better, and the weight line is starting to leave.
Some people say our trade-in process feels too easy. They can't believe it's 100% online and gives them a competitive offer that won't change for 7 days. An offer that they can put toward their new car. Some people can't believe our friendly advocate will come to them as soon as tomorrow, drop off their new ride, and whisk their old one away. Because we make trading.
Right now, I closed the lever on the right side just to get more of the bulk off, so it could be a better transition. And yeah, you guys can't be afraid to open and close your guards. I keep saying this because it's real important. Not these guards are these guidelines are basically just basic steps for you guys to you know, get the basic down. Right now I'm using my modified Andes GTX, basically giving him a lineup. I bought these clippers off of eBay. They came cut like this, and I also got the liners from eBay. They're modified GTX liners. I mean, not liners, but the blade, you know the GTX blade, you know, the modified GTX blade. They're basically modified and cut down at the tip, so it's like a sharper point. Yeah, that's why I'm able to give a crispy line like this. So if you guys need crispy liners, just go on Amazon and type in modified GTX blades. And this is basically how you finish a cut. You always want to give each and every one of your clients a freehand trim. This knocks the hair off at the top and just makes the whole haircut that much more cleaner. I'm using my wall magic clips. These are modified wall magic clips that I put the balder lines on them, the balder blades on them. So yeah, man, a freehand trim will set your haircut off. Alright, YouTube, this is how my client came in. He looked like he needed a haircut. And this is how my client is leaving, alright? Well blended, line, crispy, waves popping. My client is smiling. You can see it all over his head. You know what I mean? He got his earrings in, looking all fresh. If you guys like this cut, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys want more beginner tutorials, please comment in a section below. All right. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's your boy 360 Jeezy, and I'm out of here.
Ryan, you gonna be sending us all these videos, right?
All right. So in attendance we have, let me see, I got 8 people on here. Got the twins, Ed. We got Mr. Rick Coles. He got finally yet. Mr. Reagan and Mr. Bean. So this weekend, y'all.
You got Miss Jackson too. Like
I know Miss Jackson. You know what? I was getting ready to say Netta Bean, but I didn't even say it. I seen Netta Bean on here. Netta Bean. Homework is to finish reading chapter 5 and start working on the review questions that are in the back of chapter 5. So hopefully Tuesday we can go over the review questions. For those coming in, there is a razor, a paper with the parts of the razor at the front desk. Mr. Vinny has that for you. For those that, if you need verification of your hours, there may be a letter at the front desk also, Mr. Vinny. Our next project, in which we're launching today, after we had got all the good information from Mill and Twin and Ebo, I said, okay, now I'm getting ready to come with my strategy. And my strategy for the students are, we are getting ready to do, I don't know if you guys can see it, I'm gonna put it on the crew app, and I got about 100 flyers made. We're gonna do after school haircut special, $5. The reason why I say that is, in the back of us is West Oak Lane Charter School. I don't know how many kids go there. Up the street, I believe it's Pennypacker. I don't know how many kids go there. Around the corner is Martin Luther King High School. So we're going to pump these $5 after school haircuts from kindergarten to 12th grade. Anybody from kindergarten to 12th grade, we're going to let them get the special. That way we can start getting these heads in your chair so you guys can really start practicing. Because the only way you're going to get good is you're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to try and learn your tools. So if anybody have any announcements or comments? Okay.
I enjoyed
also,
class.
Go ahead. What you going to say, Ms. Jackson?
I said I enjoyed class today, as always.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We are getting ready to have our first barber school graduation. So we got a few students that's graduating. It's going to be a private ceremony. It's going to be here. So I want to invite everybody. The information will be on the crew app. And just stay tuned for our first graduation. No other questions, man. Everybody be safe, mask up, hand sanitizer and gloves, and have a safe weekend. For everybody else, I'll see you guys later on the day. Be safe, y'all.
Thank you.
You too, man.